Hey guys, how are you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Neil here, and it's that time of year where we talk about the best pieces of gear that were launched in 2023 that I demoed on the channel, and also we're going to talk a bit about Dime Guitarz. Right guys, so first of all, before we get on to the best gear of 2023 that I demoed and reviewed that was launched in 2023, I just want to talk a bit about Dime Guitarz. There's been a bit of an update now on Dime Guitarz. The website is now live. Now this means that basically soon we are going to see Dime Guitarz. The website's up there, and I think somewhere between now and the new year we are going to see guitars starting to appear on the website, and we're going to actually see what they look like properly. Dean Zelinsky obviously is behind Dime Guitarz. That makes sense because everywhere he's gone, Dime's kind of followed him. One thing I will say is that Dean Zelinsky is like, he jumps kind of around a bit. When he gets bored in one place, he jumps to another and things like that. But I think the important thing that we need to talk about is that when Dean Zelinsky was still at Dean Guitarz, he wanted to use the modern machinery and the laser etching and things like that that were just coming to the forefront, you know, that really pushed guitar building into new places. He wanted to kind of use that in production models, and he didn't understand why they couldn't. But because he didn't, I don't think he was a sole owner of Dean Guitarz, so I think he had to okay this. But basically, he wanted to go into more complex designs, more bevels, you know, the laser etching on the tops and on the back of the necks. We'll talk about the Z-Glide neck in a moment. But basically, he wanted to use that at Dean Guitarz and they wouldn't let him. So I think there was a conflict of interest, and that's when he went on his own to do DBZ guitars, I think they were. And they looked absolutely awesome. There was the Raptor and a couple of others, and they were like even more elaborate shapes than the previous Dean guitars, you know, the Razorbacks and things like that. They kind of expanded on that, and they looked absolutely great. They really did look great. They didn't take off so much. I think Diamond Amps ended up buying that brand off him. Then he moved on and started doing his own stuff, Dean Zelinsky Guitars, where he could do exactly what he wanted. And that's when he invented the Z-Glide neck, which is like a laser etched neck. What Dean Zelinsky believes is that the less amount of friction on the neck helps. So when he cuts away and laser etches and engraves almost the neck, he believes that because there's less of your skin, I guess, in contact with the neck, that makes it easier, faster and smoother to play. I don't know, I've not actually tried one. Also, Dean Zelinsky has started etching on the front of guitars now as well. There's a few videos of that over on his Instagram page. Really interesting to watch the machine actually do that. It really looks super, super cool. No idea how much those guitars cost. I've not delved into it that much, but one thing for certain is that he has sneaked out the snakeskin Dime guitar, and he has actually lasered in and etched in the snakeskin, so it looks almost scaly, the guitar, which is really, really interesting to actually do that, because the snakeskin is one of my favorite guitars that was ever launched at Dimebag Guitars ever, basically. And he's made it more 3D like, and I think we're expecting to see that. What that will cost, I don't know. It looks and sounds like it's going to be super expensive and not probably affordable to people like me, but it might be, you know, we just never know. Like I said, Dean Zelinsky was trying to pioneer this whole laser etching thing at Dean Guitarz when he was there, and didn't get any support, so that's why he moved on and went and did his own thing with DBZ Guitars and Dean Zelinsky Guitars. Now, Dime Guitarz, it says coming soon on the website, so I'm assuming that we're going to see things, you know, within the next month. I think we're going to see the first guitars and get an idea of the price points of them. He's snuck some things out. We've seen a headstock, and what I've noticed is it's something I don't like, actually, if I'm totally honest. So the Dean headstock and the classic Dime headstock on the Stealth had 2 points on the top, like a V shape, and they were both equal. I think on these guitars it looks like one is a bit longer than the other. This is something that the Chinese copies started doing to avoid copyright, and it reminds me of that a bit, so I don't like it. It's only a small thing, but for me, it messes with my OCD a bit, to be honest. It means that it's not as even as it should be if the points were level. But it's a small price to pay, you know, to get a guitar in your hands that is going to be a good quality guitar, and you know, it's going to be the new Dime guitar at the end of the day. From what he's put on his Instagram, it looks like he's snuck out, you know, what looks like the back of a Stealth. We've seen that he's been putting the Z-Glide necks on there. Don't know if that will be on all models or what. One thing that I didn't like also about the Dime guitars was the V-shaped neck. When you get used to it, it's fine and it feels great, but then when you go back to another guitar, it feels odd and weird. So not a big fan of the V-shaped neck. I'd rather have a thin C. From what I've heard from people who have spoke to Dean Zelinsky himself, he has said that, but I don't know how true this is, by the way, but it's just hearsay, but he has said that the new Dime guitars will have a thin C neck shape on there, which is cool because I would much prefer that. I guess I'm waiting to buy one, you know, really. I'm probably going to save up and buy one. If these guitars are affordable, then I probably will save up to buy one. Somebody said in the comments the other day that they're going to be made in Texas. You know, I don't know how affordable they will be if they're having to pay, you know, American wages. You know, maybe South Korea, but would have been a better choice for people who are in my price bracket for when they go out shopping for guitars. But I'm not sure. I mean, to do the laser etching and everything, obviously he's already struggled and already fought that battle and lost. So if he's doing laser etching already in Texas, then that's probably why he's doing it there, if he's adamant to get the laser etching on. And I think Dime would have loved it. He loves stuff like that, you know. So can't wait for Dime guitars. Super, super excited about it. Right, let's move on now because I want to talk about the top 5 pieces of gear in 2023 that were released that came onto the channel. This is not just the best pieces of gear that were on the channel in 2023. This is the best pieces of gear that were actually released in 2023 and on the channel. So obviously my couple of Schecters that I love, that are my favourite guitars, both the Evil Twins, won't be in this, but the only reason that they are not in this is because they weren't released in 2023. They were released a couple of years earlier than that, but I didn't get them, well, 2023. Okay, so they are not included for those of you that are saying, well, you said they're your favourite guitars, but they're not on. But that's why. This is just gear that was released. So we're talking here about the top 5 pieces of gear released in 2023 that I was lucky enough to have on the channel. We're starting with my choice, and it came in at number 5. I kind of wanted it to be a bit higher really, but I just couldn't fit it in with just 5 slots. You know, couldn't really get it any higher. But I really do love this piece of gear here from the guys at Hotone. It's absolutely fantastic. When it first was released, it was $199. Not sure how much it retails at now. This is the Ampero Mini, and for its price point, the quality of the actual tones and the speaker sims in and everything is superior to anything else, in my opinion. Absolutely love it, and I use it all the time. Also, up there behind me, you can see the Hotone Pulse. That is a new combo. The demo of that is yet to go up, but absolutely love that as well. I use it all the time. It's like a desktop amplifier, and yeah, it just sounds great. Everything Hotone do seems to sound absolutely awesome and punches a bit above its weight, you know, and competes with things that are a couple of £100 more expensive, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. So coming in at number 4 is the Blackstar HT100 Mark III. The Blackstar HT100 Mark III is a really, really cool amp. The tone does not differ too much from Mark II, which you can see above it. However, what Blackstar have done is they've been really smart here. They've taken what was a really good selling amplifier and they've kind of modded it with things that they put on the Blackstar St. James, which was released the year before, and they've made it a bit better. Some of the things are, so it's got cabbing on it now, so basically you can use software and you can design your own custom IRs, I guess, and load them into here, save them, and you can come direct out and record or go into a desk. That's one thing that they've pinched off the St. James, they've put onto this head. Also the switches here, they're kind of what I call rebound switches. So when you press them down, it changes, and when you release it, goes back to, springs back to the original place. A small feature, but it's one that I love. And the other thing that they did is they totally revamped the way it looks. As you can see, the one on the bottom looks way cooler than the one on the top, or at least it was in my opinion. It definitely looks more metal, that's for sure. It's all blacked out. It looks really cool. It's a really nice looking amp. And for me, there wasn't many amps released worth mentioning in 2023 by the big brands. And I think Blackstar over 2022 and 2023 still pushed for new amps and new gear when a lot of other brands were struggling to release anything. They were still putting out new gear, still inventing things. And, you know, that's why, in my opinion, this deserves to be in the top 5. Okay, let's move on to number 3. Piece of gear, number 3. Well, it is a Schecter guitar. It's the Schecter, one of the dead V. It's an absolutely great guitar. I loved that guitar. It would have probably come a bit higher, actually, in my rankings or rates if it had been a different shape. I sit down a lot now because obviously I play on YouTube, so a V is not really that suitable to me. I don't like sitting down with a V that much. But there is a C1 version as well. It's an Ernie C version. Ernie C from Body Count plays the C1, and one of the Dead plays the V, so I got the V. If that had have been the C1 with the Floyd on everything, same finish, it probably would have come much higher, maybe even first, because I'd have loved it a bit more. But yeah, the thing is that for me, the reason that's come in the top 5 is because the top, I absolutely loved it. It's the most beautiful top that I've ever had on the channel. It was absolutely gorgeous, totally metal. In some glimpse of light, it even sparkled gold, you know, it was satin. It looked absolutely phenomenal. Really loved that guitar. And like I say, I hope Schecter bring out the Black Rain top, which was on that guitar, across, you know, another range somewhere, because the Body Count guys might not be happy with that, I suppose, but I absolutely loved that top and I want to see it on other shapes. So yeah, absolutely loved that, and that deserves, in my opinion, to come in at number 3. Number 2 is another guitar. This is the Chapman Ghost Fret. Now, you guys are probably thinking, you're all right saying that that's coming at number 2, but you've not got that guitar anymore. So basically, Chapman Guitars have said it's gone out somewhere at the moment to another artist somewhere, and they've said that if it comes back in good shape, that they will send it back out to me and I will be able to keep it to use on the channel. I hope they do. I think about that guitar every week and think, oh, I wonder if it's come back yet. You know, I wonder what ship's in. I wonder if it will ever get back on the channel. So I absolutely, genuinely love that guitar. If you say, Neil, what did you love about that guitar? I don't actually know. I can't actually tell you why I love that guitar so much. There was something about that guitar that just made me want to pick it up. And when I lowered the action, because the action can go super low, it felt even better. Tons of tones in the thing. Like, you can play any style of music. It looks like a metal guitar to me, but you can play any style of music on that guitar, and I absolutely love the thing. It was just fantastic and played great. The neck could have done with being a bit slimmer, you know, but I was that impressed with the guitar. I even asked if Chapman Guitars had a custom shop, which they do, but they don't do the Ghost Fret shape, because I was thinking, well, I could make this guitar my own, you know, maybe a trans white or trans black colour, gold binding, gold hardware, gold Floyd, bit of a thinner neck, you know, and that would probably be a perfect guitar for me. That would be the perfect guitar. It was absolutely great, and I loved that guitar. So that comes in at number 2. Number 1, and the winner by quite a way, in my opinion, is this little baby down here. I'm going to have to unplug it, show you guys. I use this more than any piece of gear that I've ever owned, ever, I think. And it is the Blackstar Amped 2. So when you hear guitar demos on the channel, a lot of the time, and you can't see any amps look behind me, it's this that you're actually listening to. A lot of people message me, what amp are you using? And it's this, it's the Amp 2. I love it, and I use it more than anything. When I come in here to plug it in, it's covered in dust, actually. I didn't realise it's been down there that long. But yeah, I come in here to jam, and 90% of the time, when I'm playing guitar, I use this because it's got absolutely everything on I need. It powers a cab. It sounds great at loud volume. It sounds great at room volume. You know, you can power it down. It's got 3 different power responses here. So you've got EL84, EL34, and 6L6. And just switching through that alone satisfies all my tone needs, because it's just a small twist on the tone that makes it, you know, if you get bored of one, you just flick it to another, rather than changing and plugging into a completely different amp. So yeah, I love it. It's got cab rig on there, which I've already talked about. You know, you can dial in your own custom presets, save them on there. I've got 3 loaded on there. I can flick between them. I usually just use the same one, to be honest with you guys. Like I said, it powers a cab. I've waited years for a brand to invent this, a pedal that you can take to a gig, put on the floor, power an amp, and that's it. I'm not big on tons of pedals, pedal boards with loads of wires on. You know, one box that does absolutely everything, powers an amp, sounds great, and has got all your channels on, is fantastic. I hope that Blackstar release an Amp 4. They've done an Amp 3, I've had that on the channel as well. For me, the tone in the Amp 2 is just a bit more natural, sounding a bit more realistic, a bit more tube-like. It's got a bit more mids, and for me, it just feels a bit more real, and I prefer the Amp 2, if I'm honest. The only problem is that with the Amp 2, flicking between channels can be quite a pain. I just want to hit one button and go from a clean to a dirty, and you can't do that really on this quite so well. A lot of people use MIDI with this, don't know if that works or not, but that's what you're advised to do. So you've got USA clean, and that which I use for clean, which is beautiful, a beautiful clean. And then you've got the classic channel, which is like a cranked JCM 800. You can then boost that with your own overdrive, or you can use a drive over here. There's not a massive difference between using this as a boost over here, the drive channel, and a boost in there. But yeah, if we could just have maybe one more switch, Blackstar people, and just be able to switch between these three channels here, it would be the perfect thing. Obviously got reverb, delay, modulation. I don't even need a wah with this thing, because I'm going to do a video soon about how to use the phase, and it sounds kind of like an auto wah. So yeah, absolutely love it. It does everything for me, and I don't need anything else. And my band will, when I start gigging in 2024, if I do get gigging, you know, depends how quick we are at getting the tracks and everything, but I'll be using that live, no worries, you know, and I'll be able to then do a review of that and tell you what it was like live, because I've not used it live yet. But yeah, that comes in at number one, and there was no doubt that that was going to be number one. It was always going to be number one because I use it all the time. So yeah, absolutely great. Thank you very much for watching, guys. I have hit now 2.8 million views since I started this channel till the time of recording, which is absolutely massive. This year I have gained 1,400 and something subscribers, so 2023 has been the biggest year that I've ever had on the channel, which is absolutely great. I don't know what the reason is for that. I don't know why that year is bigger than the others, but if it keeps growing like that, then everything is cool at this end with me. Just want to say a huge thanks to you guys. You will see me again. Obviously, I have more videos to upload before Christmas, but have a good Christmas, have a good New Year, and enjoy the new gear, okay? Because in 2024, I already know I've already got 3 pieces of gear lined up that are coming to the channel in 2024, and I can't wait to show you guys those pieces of gear. When they are turning up in 2024, I don't actually know. I think the first one's due about March, but yeah, I can't wait to show you guys. It's going to be awesome. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Thanks for your support. Hope you enjoyed the content. Do not forget to comment below. It really helps when you comment below. It really helps to boost the channel in Google searches. Thanks very much, guys. I'll see you all soon.